Hi, guys. Thank you for joining me again for another episode of The Godly Wife. This is part 4. If you are new, my name is Rochelle and I do lifestyle videos. Don't forget to like, to comment, to share, and to subscribe. This is another exciting and very interesting discussion. All right. No. In today's society, we have both working, and sometimes I'm just tired and want to relax and do nothing. But then my conscience bothers me. How do I handle this as a godly wife? Probably them no want to tie the house, them not feel like I have sex, them no want to do nothing. I'm tired.
Discussion.
It's,
Again.
yeah, it's all about communication.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about
So
communication. But
that's
you
true. I
can't
guess
get up
from
every
a
day and say,
personal experience, like my husband work probably be more manual. Cause he would tell me sometimes I'm gonna come on a computer, which is true, and him do more physical stuff, like
you use the brain.
But exactly, it's my point goes to that. But remember, my brain, once your brain tired, the entire body tired. Once your brain is tired, so you completely shut down. So from speaking with that, then him stop talking about the whole computer thing again. He can no longer use that because we discuss it and you understand why it is that I'm tired. So as I say, it goes back to discussion.
But then
Yeah.
what you can do to if it is that it comes to, you had mentioned about housework,
Yes.
right?
Tell you.
Because
No,
one
no,
of
no,
the
I didn't.
that
That's the next question, Brenda. Wait.
this is not the one.
No.
Oh, okay. All
That's
right.
the
But
it
but
says,
if it is a case where I am tired, right, and he wants to have sexual intercourse, then I can say, honey, I am not available. Well, me tired tonight.
Lad, me love you, don't take it.
Guess what happened? You can make plans for tomorrow or another day.
or you can sleep on
That's
What
how
you
you
have to do is to stick to your promise. You have to stick to it, because if you make a promise and you don't stick to it, then you're in trouble. So you can say, all right, I'm not able to do it right now. What about tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Right? And then maybe I'd be able, or you can compromise and also say, all right, then fine. You might yourself. So
Yeah.
it works both ways.
True, both ways.
But people tired.
But communication is key.
When other day, like if him say him want it, yet people really tired. I don't know. Women.
Some people say
So
them tired.
when them can't rise. To the
When
woman.
him tired.
Yeah, when him tired, it can't rise most times. But may I say, like the woman, we are receivers. So me don't know.
No, but you have
Sincerely,
some women with extra acrobatic. We have to just go on with a bag of things. And if them not go on with the bag of things, them not feel like them do nothing. So
Understood.
that's why them say them tired. Climb up and chuck off and play 2 cartel and all these things. Yeah, everybody think different.
I understand.
Totally.
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 Next question. How do you handle your duties of house chores, being a wife and a working mother? How are you able to manage all duties and still have time for your husband in the night to satisfy his needs?
Split the work
Yeah.
here. So while
Explain to the
I'm
husband how
doing,
important it is for us to share the chores.
That's right.
But once them one day we have one all days husband where feel say
Enough of the
housework
nothing.
is solely the responsibility of the wife.
God help
In this
you.
modern society,
What does that wife do?
You see now, Kimika, these are the things why
well, guess
marriage
what?
counseling is very important.
Exactly.
Yeah, them go through counseling, but the wife still have everything
No.
and tired and still have to go up on the night shift.
Marriage counseling, them are going to play little things where
And
although me never go through it, but basically hear people talk, they would have play out on different scenarios and everybody must take the
Yes, they do.
So the husband must be truthful to say, big man thing me grew up and me see my mother I do this. So me not expect me to do
But you
that.
know, so sometimes our fault though. Sometimes our fault as wives. We don't give the men the opportunity to do anything. And when they actually do anything, we're quick to criticize or to judge it and I say, you could do this not do good and you know, say it's not dirty, you know, wash good and so it's not encouraging.
Yeah.
So them just sit down and cock up them foot. But in my house, we do everything together. Everything. If I put the clothes in the machine, y'all gotta hang it up. While I change the bedspread and change the curtains, or if I'm cooking, you're doing the dishes. We share the responsibility. Or if I'm washing the baby's bottle, you're babysitting, changing the diaper, putting on his night clothes. Yeah, we share it. Nobody come cut no food up in here.
That's right.
Yeah. So to all the newlyweds, ensure you guys start sharing chores from early.
Early.
Right? Yeah. You can notice something.
You don't play no hero, no superhero or something.
Because,
Come back and
honestly,
haunt you.
Yeah, but they don't time. I find an ex-wife. Anyways, next question.
And that's why it's important that the woman asks
the million questions that you talk about
before, so you know what you're getting into, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're the only person doing all the chores. Because guess what you can do if you find yourself then in this particular situation, you have to probably sit down with the husband and say, listen honey, I am having a difficulty doing all these. What I'm going to ask you to do then, give me enough time for somebody to help me, and so that I will have enough time so that when night comes and you are ready,
whenever
I'm ready to.
True.
They have to give them the reasons. You can't just say, boy, we need money to buy to pay my helper. You're not give the reasons why. You have to say why.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Right.
All right. So the other question is, so this is the last question under the godly wife. I have 6 more questions. I thought it was regular marital questions that will come after this one.
Stress out.
It says, as a Christian wife, we were taught to support our husband's dream. Tell us ways in which we can do so while still fulfilling our own personal goals. Or do you believe that once there's a union, it's no longer his or her goals, but now our goal? What if we don't agree on how we approach the situation? It should have been 16A, should have part A, B, C, D. But
look like a holy back question to one.
So like I want essay question.
It's actually our goal. It's no longer his or his goal. And it's important that you work together. I give you a prime example. When Clive and I got married, my husband and I got married, we decided to go back to school. We decided to go back to school. So I started first, and then he goes when I was finished, and then I go back. I did my associate degree. He went and got his. Then I went and get my degree, and then he went and get his, right? So it's important that one person does not necessarily work on their goal and the other party is just sitting down there, because you don't want one person to be elevated and, and then the other person is just sitting down and nothing is happening. I believe that once you love the person, you're going to support them and want to see the best for them. No.
But what if they don't want to see the best for themselves?
Well, you have
to marry that person today. When an ambition.
No, like some people, no, it's not a matter of no of ambition, Rochelle. I mean to cut your Brenda. But sometimes you have you and your spouse will never be equal.
Yeah.
Right? When it comes on to certain things, you guys will never be equal. Like one person I go outspoken, one person I go quiet. One person I go more go getting, the other person is gonna be more supportive. Right? So you're not always gonna have the same personality 100% of the time. Right? You have some husband, them no want go back to school, but them will carry you to class, come back for you, sit down with you all night, do the homework.
But now
Them just them just now go through it.
Mhm.
So
But then
what do you do in that case?
In that case, they don't want to do that, but then there are other things that they would have liked. So the things that they like or they love to do, you try to encourage them along that line. So even though they may not like school, because maybe they don't like school because they probably felt like that they're not going to do well at school, or they didn't do well in primary, high school. So right. So you can encourage them to go back and get some training, maybe do some electrical training. Yes, get a trade or something, not a formal school, but something practical that can help them to develop their skills. And that is important. As a matter of fact, up to a couple of years ago, my husband went back to school, and oh Lord, how do I say this? And he wanted to do something. He was, he got some prophecies, and it's not really something that I really like. Persons have told him time to time that he's gonna be a minister and or a pastor, and it's not something that I personally would want, because I know that pastors have a lot of work to do, right? But then at the end of the day, if this is what God wants him to do, I can't stop it. So guess what? All I have to do is just to support him, right? No, as long as whatever he's doing is not outside of God's will, it's not something that God would detest. God would detest or something like that. Then support him. Support him. If he wants to sweep the road and he's passionate about it, support him. Because at the end of the day, it can work out good for him. So it's
for
important,
you guys,
right? Not just for him, but for us as a family. Because at the end of the day, he might be the best street sweeper ever and end up earning millions. Who to tell?
A company.
Or just meet somebody on the road what they say to make him rich.
Right. So it's important that we support them as much as possible, even if we don't necessarily like whatever it is that they are doing. Because if it is that you're gonna say no and you're gonna argue, you're gonna have problems in your marriage. So it's better to just support them.
And go back to crushing the ego again.
Yeah.
Make him feel like say.
But when you say, Brenda, when you say support, we will say support, but how do we show support?
Encourage them by encouraging them and be understanding. And if it is that they need your advice in whatever way, you give it to them.
Or if it's a practical example.
Yes.
Like, I have this test to the next month. Really, like, send me some questions, send me YouTube videos, but do the test them, it mark it.
Okay.
Send me practice question, we need to do it on a minute. True.
True.
That's wonderful.
That's nice. Studying stuff. Him just there with me and study too. Not the test, but he's there asking me questions and stuff like that.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, as you said that, Rochelle, it's important that you try to be a part of it too.
Yeah.
Right? Be a part of it, because if you know that he's like, if it is that your husband is going to be a pastor, so you are now going to become the first lady, you have to prepare yourself for that. you have to prepare yourself as a wife because they're gonna. How is it that both of you are gonna go out or go to church? You're just gonna sit in the congregation. They're gonna call on you to do stuff as the first lady, and you have to be prepared. And not just that, but even if he's a street sweeper, as I mentioned earlier, right? You have to be there to support him.
Yeah,
Probably carry water, go give him.
him one day,
Yes,
cool him
carry
down.
lunch and
Yeah.
things like that.
Buy him a new room.
Right.
True, man, true.
Yes.
True.
Oh my God, so them a new group.
And sometimes to inject, sometimes we mix up. Now I was saying that sometimes we mix up being supportive with being annoying and nagging.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes some of our spouse might be studying, and like, you know, I gotta take up your book. Then you have exam next week. I'm from morning when I study. You know, that's not really. To some people, that is how they show their support
for you.
But it might come off the wrong way. So we have to be careful of how we show support because we can be annoying.
Especially when they're watching their football match or their cricket match.
Can I tell you? But like I said, Kimika, what we could do is, babes, at which part of the book you reach now? Wait, that's it. You know them kind of way there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. So,
Rochelle, I noticed you didn't touch on the point of finance.
oh,
you missed that one.
Brenda, I can't
Money worries, you know. Money worries.
Money, oh.
Okay, yeah, true. There's a finance. It says, thank you, Brenda. Thank you so much.
No problem.
In the event of the wife making more money, learning to truly balance that situation. How is this question like this? Okay, so the person basically wants to know, the wife making more money, how do you learn to truly balance the situation? You know how wife's tongue can be unforgiving. Who sent me that question here? So I guess what Kalia said, because you're making more money, you probably have more talk. Is that what they're trying to say? Because the wife's tongue can be unforgiving.
Some people are like that.
True.
God
Some
help
people
them.
are like that.
God help them.
But that's not healthy though.
No.
If it is that you guys say that your separate lives coming together as one, fuse together as one, then it shouldn't matter who make money.
More.
It doesn't whatever method you choose to use to manage your finances, whether you're going to pool all the resources together and then pay the bills and whatever, or you're going to all right, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. That's your business. But if it is that the person is making more money, you should not allow the person to feel any kind of way that they're making less than you do. But at the same time, sometimes the person that is making less money, they feel inferior.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know what you do, but because them in them head, them feel some kind of way about you making more money than they are.
Especially the man. Especially
right,
the man.
because they have again the ego. They are godly men for the most part, whether they are saved or not. You know, you have some unsaved who really tune into the word of God and all of that. So they are godly, right? To some extent, so they know what their responsibilities are as a husband, as a man, being the head of your household, and you should be providing for your family, providing for your wife, putting a roof over their head and food and all of that. So when they're not able to do that, it really takes a toll on them.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not intentional that they react the way they do, but it's based on whatever is happening and how they're feeling and and what they're supposed to doing, and they're not able to do all of that. But then it's also our responsibility as a wife to say, babes, say, I got you, I got you. That's my son right there. I got you, and not make him feel no way about the whole thing, So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
That's
Brian?
true. Yes, I agree with Kimika. You can't allow the person to feel bad. And that's why it goes back to the whole point where you're going to encourage them to do something so that they themselves can grow. Because God didn't take us, bring us into this world to just, come and to just do an ordinary job and just to eat, sleep, and He made us for a lot more. We have a lot more potential than we actually see right now. Because for all 4 of us ladies, I know that whatever it is that we're doing now, we're not thinking that this is it. There's a lot more that God has in store for us. There's a lot more. We have not yet fulfilled our purpose. And we have to help them to see their purpose, right? We have to help them to realize that there is more to life than you just earning minimum wage or just a small amount of money just to pay the bills, right? We can achieve more, so we have to push. So it's encouraging the person, and not, and if they're feeling, because I remember some time ago, my husband used this phrase that if I'm not able to take care of my family, I'm an invalid, right? So as Kimika rightly said, they are gonna feel bad, especially if the wife is earning more. But then we have to try our best to encourage them and let them know that, listen, not because I make more money than you, that no means I'm above you in any way. We just work together. I see where you asked a question even about putting the monies together. Both persons, if you believe that you should save the money together. Sometimes
don't answer yet.
Right. But I'm saying one of the things is that I wanted to go ahead and ask the question first.
We're talking about finance now. Like in society, a lot of marriages are failing because of finance. Like,
yes,
there are
that is
other
true.
issues.
Yeah.
Like some people might say that one party not making enough and then probably feel burdened. Because the reality is things expensive. People want to live a comfortable type of life to feel comfortable. So finance is such a big issue in marriage. They can see why it's causing an issue because of basically how people want to live and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also as a couple, Rochelle, that people should know what they are able to afford.
Right. That's
right?
important.
As the proverb said, don't hang your hat higher than you can reach it.
All right, guys, that's a wrap for part 4. You know what to do. See you again next week. Leave your comments below.